Good evening, I'm Stanley Bain, Director of Schools for Franklin County. Tonight is the 11th day of Christmas, and we're here at North Middle School reading to our students. And we're reading to our students to emphasize the importance of reading, early reading, and trying to get our children by the third grade to be reading on the third grade level. That is very important in our school systems, and we're very much pushing that here at North Middle School. And I also want to thank Ms. Harrell for allowing me to come read today to the North students.
We appreciate you coming to read to our students. It's a treat when they get to be in middle school. They don't often get to sit around and listen to stories, and literacy is very important, not only for elementary level, but all the way through school. It's very important. So we thank Mr. Bain for coming and reading to our students today, and Merry Christmas to everyone from North Middle School family.
But today I'm reading to the elementary schools, and I've been reading to the elementary schools, and today I'm reading to the middle schools. And you guys are the last middle schools I'm reading to. And next Saturday, if you can go on the county Facebook website, you can see yourselves on camera, okay? Because you'll be the last group. Every night for 12 nights, there'll be some different school that we're reading to, and we have it on the website for the county. So when we get to North, you're welcome to go ahead and start looking at the other schools. I think South is Friday night. And guess who is Saturday night? Saturday night I read to the teachers. So if you want to see something really funny, go on the website and you'll see Ms. Harrell. And were you up there the other night?
I was not.
Okay. Some other teachers here at North, I think, were participating. And some of your elementary school teachers will be there. So you can see that Sunday night. So today I'm going to read to you the story that most of you have already heard about Rudolph, right? You all know how that ended. How'd that end? Good or bad?
Good.
Good. Well, today, I'm going to read about Rudolph Shines Again. I'd never heard the story. I thought when Rudolph, with his nose so bright, led the sleigh through for Christmas, that was the end of Rudolph. But evidently, there's more to Rudolph. So today we're going to read a little bit about Rudolph and what happened after he did that. Okay, let me get a good position here. It was a month before Christmas when Rudolph at play saw Santa drive up to call from his sleigh. The weatherman says there'll be snow Christmas Eve. So please tell your parents I'd like you to leave. I hope we get snow this year, Christmas Eve, but right now it looks like there's a possibility, but it may not be cold enough. The weatherman says there will be snow Christmas Eve, so please tell your parents I'd like you to lead. To lead all my dear through that dark snowy night with your shiny red nose and its wonderful light. Meanwhile, of course, you can work on the toys you'll be taking this Christmas to good boys and girls. As Rudolph was hitched up in front of the rest, he heard the deer whisper, "What makes him the best? We're bigger and stronger and older. You said it, but we get the back aches while he gets the credit." The deer in the workshop were mean to him too. They gave him the meanest gluing to do. So right off, Rudolph has a problem. What's happening with other reindeers? They're making fun of him, and they're being mean because they're jealous. He carried the heaviest loads of them all, and when football was played, they made Rudolph the ball. Poor Rudolph, he worried, he wept and he whined, and the more he shed tears, the less his nose shined. Oh, poor little me, he would pity and pout, till one day the light in his nose just went out. With his nose, I never could lead Santa's sleigh. I'm useless here now, so why should I stay? I'll leave here tonight while the rest are in bed and go to faraway country instead. When none of the new folks will be introduced to me, know how much brighter my nose really used to be. He left and he traveled for mile after mile, till one day when ready to rest for a while, in a field with a very thick forest behind it, he heard a strange noise, but he couldn't find it. Until he came closer, from darkness was falling. Hundreds of rabbits were crying and calling. Two of our children, Donnie and Doris, taking a walk got lost in the forest. It's much, much too dark now to search or to follow them. By morning a fox or a wolf will have swallowed them. If only we rabbits had eyes like a cat or a bright shining flashlight, we could use that. Does everybody see where this is going? So Rudolph, these rabbits have reason to worry. I'd rather stop pitying me in a hurry. And right then and there, Rudolph ended his habits of pouting in tears and thought just of the rabbits. I'll find them, he shouted. I'll find Don and Doris with my bright shining nose. And he dashed for the forest, completely forgetting himself with his woes. He'd even forgotten the change in his nose. Because he was running as fast as he could, when he learned his mistake, he was deep in the woods. He now faced the risk of that dangerous place, with his nose no more bright than the one on your face. I promised the rabbits their babies I'd save. I may have been stupid, I've got to be brave. My nose doesn't shine, but like all other deer, it's like a good sniffer. I'll still have sharp ears. Quickly and quietly he ran through the forest, sniffing and listening for Donnie and Doris, sniffing and listening too for the sky, foxes and wolves that he knew were close by. With all that huge forest to search and no light, do you think Rudolph will find them tonight? Perhaps it was smartness, perhaps it was luck, or perhaps a reward for his bravery was pluck. Was sent by an angel from way, way up high, who steered Rudolph's feet toward a very small cry. From a thick patch of bushes, and that's where he found them, frightened but safe with leaves piled around them, to keep out the cold and wild animals too. I'm your friend, Rudolph whispered. I've come here for you, to help you get you home. So please have no fears, just jump on my back and hold on tight to my ears. The foxes and wolves here would all like to meet us in order to cook us and carve us and eat us. So Rudolph bent down and the bunnies obeyed. He then ran so fast that no animal was chasing him. The wolves. A claw or a tooth on the bunnies or deer, the two panting wolves came just terribly near. Then out of the woods for a grand happy landing in the field where the crowd of sad rabbits were standing. Just picture the mother and dad rabbits' joy when Rudolph brought back both their girl and their boy. They thanked him and thanked him, they begged him to stay. Said, Rudolph, I've come for a visit someday. But my job is with Santa to help as I can. I was wrong to go away from that wonderful man. Perhaps it was cause of my weeping and whining that all of a sudden my nose stopped shining. With a dull nose last night in the woods, I helped you. In that case, I surely could help Santa too. As Santa's front reindeer, I guess I'm all through. But I still could load boxes and work with the glue. As tears from the rabbit's eyes started to roll, he started his trip for a far-off North Pole. Before his remarkable journey was through, 'twas the day before Christmas, and darker it grew. The gray northern sky and the fog and the snow would make almost anyone travel real slow, or even get lost, but Rudolph just flew, straight as an arrow and speedily too. To the heaviest snowstorm and fog of the season, how did he do it? Can you guess the reason? Ever since Rudolph had saved the young rabbits, forgetting himself and ended his habits of thinking of Rudolph and weeping and whining, the light in his nose had again started shining. At first, very little, too dimly to view it. Do you think that the angel had something to do with it? Then slowly more bright like a red glowing coal, until when at last he could see the North Pole. And Santa's big sleigh by the workshop front door, it shone just as brightly as ever before. The deer were all hitched, the sleigh almost loaded, and Santa worried he nearly exploded. Without Rudolph's red nose and its wonderful glow, how will I steer through the fog and the snow? But when he saw Rudolph, he shouted, "Hooray! Quick, take your place at the head of the sleigh." The deer crowd called, "Rudolph, we dear are glad too. We hope you'll forgive the big loads and the glue. For next year your job in the shop is a dandy. Next year your job will be tasting the candy." I'd like to have that job. So happy young Rudolph in Santa's great sleigh, with Rudolph's red nose again lighting the way. Through darkness of fog, to deliver the toys they were given that Christmas to good girls and boys. Swiftly they traveled as Rudolph's red nose shone on each waiting chimney, including your own. The very first sound you could hear on the roof as Santa's sleigh landed was Rudolph's small hoof. Then his nose made the light that gave a Santa a view in your room, and when they were through. You might too have heard as they drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all,
and to all a good night."
and to all a good night." I know everybody anticipates Christmas. How many of you guys are ready for Christmas to come? Great. But, always, what is the reason for Christmas? Who can tell me why we celebrate Christmas?
Jesus' birth.
Jesus' birth? What's the most important thing about Christmas?
Spending time with friends and family.
Spending time with friends and family. That's very important. That is the most important. And celebrating Jesus' birth, of course, is the reason for what we...
I realized that because some of my presents were very expensive, and so I didn't get much, but I was still happy because I was with my family.
Yes. And that was one of the stories I read to one of the schools today. I read The Grinch That Stole Christmas. What happened at the end of that story?
His heart grew 3 times bigger.
He what?
His heart grew 3 times
He
bigger.
grew bigger. And he realized that what? Christmas was not about presents, because he had stolen all the presents. But then he realized, because they were still celebrating Christmas,
It was about friends and family.
so then he realized it was about friends and family. So I hope you guys keep that in mind when you get through the season.